Okay. Are we live yet? Let's see our red. Whoop.
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay. Let me share my screen here.
Let's see. Um, okay, I'm gonna make you a host.
Okay.
There you go.
That works. Let me pick the right screen. Okay. Hello, everybody. I got dual monitors here, so I got to make sure I'm on the right screens. Okay. We are good. And you see that screen there, Kay? My presentation?
I sure do.
Okay.
Looks great.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. And we're continuing our social media. Last week, we talked about how important social media is for the genealogy community to be able to connect and everything like that. And so we kind of wanted to branch off of that. And today's session is about uncovering your Indiana roots through Facebook group. And so let's start with an icebreaker. And how long have you been researching your Indiana roots? Go ahead and put that in the comments. So many Hoosiers have roots that go back for centuries, and Facebook groups have become a powerful way for people with Indiana connections to rediscover and share those stories no matter where they're from. These online spaces bring together family historians, researchers, everyday people who simply want to learn more about where their ancestors came from. You can collaborate on research, swap stories, or uncover details that breathe life into your ancestors' experiences. And that's important to all of us. So, whether they're farmers, factory workers, if they were newcomers that came to Indiana searching for opportunity, we all want to uncover these stories. So, joining these communities isn't also just about researching, it's also about connection. Each connection, photo, conversation, and shared discovery helps you become a part of a living network of people who care just as deeply about Indiana's past as you do. And along the way, you might even stumble upon a distant cousin or two. I know I have connected with one, and I hope one day to find more. But every time you share, you're putting out that nugget that you just never know who you're going to find. So these are people that share not just a curiosity, but a very rooted Indiana history about our remarkable state. Okay. Let's make sure this switches over. Okay. So Facebook groups have become one of the most powerful tools in the genealogy today. They create a space where researchers go called that can bridge the gap to that is sometimes a little bit slower and helps us slow down in our work and really connect. So it used to be that we went to I can't think of the word right now, but we'd go to boards. I think that's what they're called, boards, and you would post questions and wait for someone to reply. So what Facebook groups gives us is an opportunity to really go beyond that and connect at a much faster. And actually, more people are on social media today than ever before. And so you never know what connections you have. So when you connect to these groups, there are local experts, repositories, other family historians, and you suddenly have access to knowledge that might have taken you months or even years to find on your own. Someone in the group might recognize a name. They might share a record set that you didn't even know existed, or point you towards a local archive that holds exactly what you need. So, beyond the research help, these groups build communities, and we have seen this over and over again. And we have an amazing IGS community. And so these Facebook groups just go beyond that. They give us a place, like I said, to share stories, old photos, celebrate discoveries, and even learn from one another's challenges. All is friendly, and it is one of the most supportive groups I have ever been a part of. And what's really exciting is the collaboration. When people come together to tackle mystery, preserve history, it's amazing how quickly brick walls and projects they just start appearing, you know? And so working as a community doesn't just make genealogy easier, it makes it more meaningful. So I like to think of Facebook groups as the new front porch of genealogy, a place where stories are shared, connections are made, and history truly comes alive. Just like our neighbors used to gather on the front porch at the end of the day, I'm sure we all have ancestors that did this. Genealogists today gather online and swap stories, trade discoveries, and celebrate their family. And so I just like to encourage you to think about that. That is similar to sitting on a front porch. I know for some people it's very strange having it all virtual, but that's the way the world's going. And so the quicker we embrace it, the better it's going to be for us. So, Facebook platforms is home to a wide variety of Facebook groups that can really help with your genealogy research. You'll find local and regional groups that focus on specific counties, towns, or historical societies. And I want to encourage you, if you've done a search and you did not find a group, search again. Groups are popping up all the time. There are even some that highlight specific cemetery preservation projects and local record collections. Then there are also special interest groups. These focus on topics like African American heritage, military services, and ethnic roots. And finally, there are surname and family groups where you can connect with other researchers of that same family line. Unfortunately, I have not found any Facebook groups with my surnames, but I'm determined one day to find it, but it might end up being I have to start that group. What's great about each of these groups is they offer a different kind of insight, whether it's a local record hint, a shared photograph, or a family connection that you didn't see coming. One of the ways that I like to use Facebook groups lately is to connect with people that had ancestors that served in the same unit as my ancestor, Jasper Killian, who was actually captured at the Battle of Franklin, and he was at Andersonville. Now, of course, my ancestor did not have a journal. So I have to go by what other people have. And so I've actually been able to connect with people that had ancestors that were there at the same exact time that he was. And they might have a letter that was passed down through the family. And so I've been able to kind of piece together the experience because of that. So, beyond local and family focused groups, there are a few other types of Facebook communities that can support your genealogy journey. The first category is technology and tools. These groups are perfect for learning about DNA testing, digital preservation, how to get the most out of your genealogy software, and there are some for AI as well in today's world. They're a wonderful space to ask technical questions, troubleshoot challenges, and stay up to date on the latest tools that make research easier. And like I said, always keep looking, and there's going to be an answer somewhere if you keep searching. The second category is learning communities. And so these are groups that bring people together who love to keep growing. There's always stuff to learn in the genealogy community. So you can find conversations about research methods, strategies for interpreting historical records, and even discussions about ongoing education and webinars. It's a great way to learn from others' experiences while sharing a few of your own insights as well, because you want to give just as much as you get. Today, these kind of groups expand your skill sets and connect you with others who are just as curious and passionate about genealogy. They remind us that the work isn't just about the past, but it's about continually learning and connecting in the present. What keywords have you tried searching for genealogy group? I'd love to see you guys post in the chat to kind of give people ideas on keywords that they might want to search for. And yes, Indiana genealogy and Indiana history are good ones as well. So let's see how many words we can come up with. If you're watching this on the replay, go ahead and type it in the comments. And once you know the type of Facebook groups that are out there, the next step is finding the one that fits your research goals. And I will tell you now, not every group is for everybody. And if you don't feel like you fit into a group, it's okay. You can opt out of that group and find another one. There's a group for everybody. But you're going to start by using keywords when you search. So you're just going to go up to where you do the search and you're going to type in terms like Indiana genealogy, Hoosier history, or the name of the county where your ancestor lived. I always tell people search the state, search the county, and search the town, because most chances are you're going to find one of those groups that you're going to be able to connect with. These keywords will help you uncover a wide range of groups that focus on both local history and family research. If you want a more specific, try target phrases such as Vigo County Cemeteries or St. Joseph's Family Research, and just play around with the keywords. These can lead you to smaller specialized groups that focus on particular locations, topics, and record types. And don't forget to explore Facebook suggestions and member recommendations. A lot of times when you start scrolling, you will see that it recommends friends and groups. Scroll through that. It's going to show you groups that it think you might be interested in. You might not, but you're not going to know unless you actually scroll through and look. Once you've joined a few groups, the Facebook algorithm is also going to start to show you related ones. And often these are hidden gems that come from word of mouth between researchers who share a similar interest. So with this, the algorithm, it is looking at what you're engaging with. So if you're scrolling and you're engaging with cat videos, you're not going to get genealogy videos unless you're engaging with the genealogy videos. So kind of keep that in mind. So if you're not seeing any genealogy videos or recommendations or whatever, type in genealogy and then go ahead and interact with some of those, either like, comment, or share. Then you're going to see that's going to change your algorithm, and you're going to see where Facebook is going to recommend some different groups, Facebook groups, to you. Finding the right group isn't just about the quantity either. So when you look at a group and you see a group with 10K and then you see a group with 1,000, don't let that be the deciding factor of which group you're going to join. Because why the 10,000 is great, because you have more people in there, you might connect with more cousins. Sometimes your posts will get lost in the shuffle. And so, but it is nice because you have more people that might give you recommendations or whatever. But in the smaller group, sometimes I like the smaller group because it's more intimate. And so sometimes it's a little bit easier for some people to start up a conversation and get to know other people. So just keep that in mind. And then also when you're checking out different groups, I always recommend most groups, there's two type of groups. There's private groups and there's public groups. Private groups, you're going to have to answer some questions and request to join. Don't let this deter you because the reason they're doing this is to make sure only certain people get in. It's a way of them keeping spammers out and stuff like that. So please, if you see that, go ahead and answer the questions and then just hit submit and wait for them to go ahead. Most times, if you're into genealogy, they're just going to let you right in. But if it's a public group, you can go ahead and join and start following right away and interacting. And then if you see though that you get into the group and you see one person post every 3 months, you need to think about that because that's kind of telling you that that group is not active. And so you might not want to join that group because you can get into too many groups and become overwhelmed pretty easily because there are thousands and thousands of groups just on genealogy topics. So once you found a few groups that look promising, take a moment to evaluate them before you hit that join, like I just mentioned. Not all groups are created equal, and finding that right environment makes the big difference in your research experience. And these are all run by either organizations or people. Anybody can start a Facebook group. And so you need to kind of keep that in mind. So start by looking for an active engagement. So you want to see that people are commenting and people are commenting on people's posts. So that is considered an active community. Check how often the members post and comment. A group that has recent activity and people helping one another shows that the members are engaged and there's a genuine interest in sharing information. Next, look for clear guidelines. So when you join a lot of these groups, the guidelines will come up. Groups are well-defined, normally have well-defined rules and a respectful tone that tends to foster evidence-based discussions. So you don't want to get into groups and start an argument and start, challenging people. That's not going to go off well. So you really want to go in there with a sense of mind of let's just connect, and everyone has different opinions on different things. It's okay. But don't start arguing within the groups because that could get you banned from the group, and they can ban you and just kick you out of the group. But that kind of structure really helps everyone to feel welcome. It keeps the conversation focused on good genealogy practices. You will see some genealogy groups that do not allow you to join if you have a business page. So if you're a professional genealogist and you want to join a specific group, they won't let you unless you use your private account because some of them feel like you're just going to go on there and try to get clients, and that's what they're trying to keep people from doing. And one extra tip, use Facebook search within a group feature. So when you're in that group, you can search for specific words and surnames. And I recommend doing that because a lot of times if people shared a surname, it could have been a year ago, but that might still be relevant to you because you can reach out to that person. So anyone in the group, you can send them a message directly. That's a private message and not post on the group, but you might be able to connect with someone. So use that search within the group feature. It's an underrated tool that really lets you look up, surnames, the towns, even record types within the genealogy history, in the group history. And then also if you're doing organizing, stuff like that, type in those keywords and it's going to pull up anything that someone posts about organizing genealogy. It's a great way to see whether the group has already discussed the topic that matched your research interests. And if not, that tells you I'm going to post about it. Don't be scared to post in these groups. So if you didn't find anything, post a question, start a conversation. The goal is to find a space that's not just active, but genuinely supportive. Places where you want to return again and again as part of your genealogy community. And for me, I go through my groups once a year because you will find that you favor some groups over the other, and that's okay. You don't have to be in every group. There's no way you can be in every single group. So don't worry about being selective. So as helpful as Facebook can be, it's just as important to recognize when a group or a post might not be reliable. So start by watching unverified claims. These are posts that don't include sources or evidence to back them up. And you will see this in groups because a lot of people can post anything. And if you don't see a source or want to know where they got that information, ask, but ask nicely. In genealogy, every detail should be traceable. And I know in the beginning, especially when people first started posting on Facebook, they wouldn't put sources or where they found that information. And so just ask, where did you get it? If someone shares information without citing a record or document, just take caution until you can verify it yourself. So, and also with photos, you want to reach out before you take that image and just copy it. Just out of respect, ask them, hey, is it okay if I download this? Because we want to be asked. Next, be mindful of spam and advertisements. So group clutter with unrelated promotion and off-topic posts make it harder to find meaningful discussions and research information. So what I mean by this is if you see someone sharing, like say, if they're sharing an event that's coming up, that's not considered spam or advertisement if it's related to the group. So if you're in a genealogy and AI Facebook group, going and sharing something about German research is that doesn't go. So you need to think about this, and you need to think, okay, if you find an article or something that you want to share to the AI group that's about AI, and that's different. It doesn't have to be related to genealogy, but you can take that article and share it to the genealogy and AI community because it's about AI, and you might tell them how you can relate that to genealogy. So just be mindful of that. And as I said before, also avoid inactive groups. So if you're scrolling through and you see that no one has posted for months, it's likely that that group has been abandoned. And so these spaces won't offer much value in current collaboration. And one thing I will warn with this is if I see an inactive group, I will normally, when I do my yearly go through of all my Facebook groups, I will let that group go. I will go out of that group because spammers will try to get into anything. And if an account is inactive, it's just sitting there waiting for someone, like a spammer to get in there or a hacker. And so to protect yourself, I recommend if it is an inactive group, just get out of that group. You don't need to be in there. Just keep yourself safe however we can. The key is to keep your eyes open for these red flags so that you can spend your time in active, trustworthy communities where research is shared responsibly. Remember, your time and energy is valuable. We have a hard enough time not sitting there and scrolling. I know I get caught up in it. So you want to be selective on the groups you choose that are going to help you move forward with your genealogy. So just keep that in mind. If you pull up your Facebook account and you have like 100 Facebook groups you have joined, I can almost guarantee you that you're not active in all those groups unless you're on 24/7 on Facebook. And so we want to use social media very responsibly and go on there with a purpose. And so just go through those groups. You don't need those 100. And the number that you're going to want is different for everybody. And so I'm not going to name a number. I'm not going to say how many I like to keep because it is a very personal decision, but you want to make sure it brings value to you. So when you join a new group, take a moment and introduce yourself. Share where you're from, what part of Indiana, or which families that you're researching. It helps others instantly connect with your interest. You can also mention the time period that maybe you're focused on. For example, you might say, I'm researching my Stoner and Nicholson family in Vigo County during the late 1800s. That's automatically telling people a lot of information without me putting too much out there. A little bit of context can speak loudly. And from someone researching the same area or even the same name, that little bit of information is going to give them an idea of what my history is and my connections. So when you post a question, be specific as possible. Broad questions like, can anyone help me with my family history? That's a hard question to answer. And you're not going to get very many comments probably. You might get questions. So it's easier to kind of break that down. So instead include details like dates, locations, what you've already tried. For example, I checked the 1880 and 1900 census for Vigo County, but can't find my ancestors. Any suggestions on where else I might look? That's a very specific question. That's a lot better than me asking for help. I'm already telling them what I'm looking for, and I can get those instant answers. Also, remember that collaboration goes both ways, as I said a little bit ago. If you come across something interesting like an old family photo, a newspaper clipping, or a bit of local history, share it. These small discoveries often help someone else solve a puzzle in their own family history. Because wouldn't it be great to have someone share their distant grandparents' school picture and they have names on the back of it? And I would love that because then my ancestors' names right there and I'm able to connect with them. So just remember, it goes both ways. So, and don't worry about asking a question or sharing something. Everyone in the group is there to share. So if you see a question that you can answer, jump in and help. Even if you've seen that they have 10 other comments, I will still recommend what I think might help them. Because if you have someone, if say someone already answered the question with a similar thing that you would have said, I will normally go ahead and post on it because that just tells the person that posted that comment that, okay, there's more than one person that really feels I need to go check this out. But offering your experience builds trust, strengthens community, and reminds everyone that genealogy thrives when we support each other. The more meaningful connections you make, the stronger your research becomes. Every conversation can lead to a new clue or even a new cousin. Okay, so what's one time another researcher has helped you solve a brick wall? I would love for whoever's watching to go ahead and post, and if you're watching the replay, go ahead and comment. And then I also have another question. Have you ever shared a discovery that ended up helping someone? So when you reciprocate, I can't say that word all at the time, it's really the heart of everything we do for genealogy. It's what turns Facebook groups from just a page of posts into a true community. When we share what we know, whether it's a research tip, a record we found, or a simple encouragement, we're helping others move forward in their own discoveries. That generosity builds trust and keeps the conversation going. And who knows, you don't know when you might meet these people. We could all go to the IGS Next conference and you run into someone and you're like, you look so familiar. And then you realize you're both in the same Facebook group. But answering questions and connecting with other researchers isn't just about giving information. It's about building relationships. The more we engage, the more we become a part of a supportive network of people who understand the ups and downs of family history research. They're not going to roll their eyes the way some of our family members do. And when we hit our own brick walls, the same community is there to lift us up and help us see things in a new angle. It's a beautiful cycle of giving and receiving that strengthens everyone's involvement. And I think that's what makes the genealogy community on social media so special. When we lead with sharing and caring, we create a space of curiosity, kindness, and collaboration that thrives. That's when we have the most meaningful discoveries that will happen. As we collaborate online, it's important to approach every interactive with respect and care for both the past and the present. So always ask permission before reposting someone else's research, family photos, or even personal information. Even if something is shared in a public group, it is still someone's story. And honoring that ownership builds trust within the community. I have seen this happen where it has destroyed communities and those people have ended up being kicked out because we all want credit for something we've done or something we shared. It's just a natural part of us. And so just be respectful of that. Be mindful to protect the privacy of the living relatives as well. So a good rule of thumb is to avoid sharing personal details about anyone born within the last 100 years, unless you have their permission. This includes their names, their birth dates, and other identifying information. So for example, I would post pictures of me and my cousins on National Cousin Day. Before I post that, I check with my cousins and let them know, hey, I'm posting this picture or I want to post this picture and you're in it. Is it okay? And most times they will say yes, but there might be a case or two where they'll say no. I had a picture that my mother had shared with me of my great grandmother, and I found out the guy that was in the picture, everyone thought was someone that was renting a boarder, and it was actually her boyfriend. But no one ever, the family was not supposed to talk about it. And so I did go and check with my aunts and uncles to make sure I could post the story because it affects them as well. It's a family secret. I'm like, can I go ahead and let the beans spill? Because I'd be the first one to let it spill. So just be considerate and think about those things. And make sure to cite your sources and acknowledge others who contribute to your discoveries. Giving credit isn't just good practice, it strengthens the reliability of your research and encourages others to do the same. And finally, keep the discussions respectful and evidence-based. Genealogy thrives on curiosity and collaboration, but it's at its best when it's grounded in documentation and shared with kindness. When we uphold these values, we create a safe, trustworthy space where everyone can learn, connect, and honor their family's stories. So I'd like for anyone to comment, how do you decide what to share publicly versus what to keep private? This slide pulls together some of the best key practices of how we engage in the online genealogy community. In the do this column, you see the positive habits that makes our community thrive. Things like verifying information you share, giving proper credit, citing your sources, respecting each other's group guidelines, take the time to engage helpfully with others, and handle sensitive family details with care, especially with living relatives and that are involved in that, whatever you're posting. And also, I will at this point tell you, if you're having an issue with someone or want to take a conversation that you don't know how it's going to go, take it out of the feed. Take it to the direct messaging. Send them a private message, because it doesn't need to be going on back and forth within the group. And then if you have a problem with someone within the group, there's always facilitators that you can reach out and explain the situation. In the avoid this section, we're reminded of behavior that can harm the integrity of our work and our relationships. Avoid posting information without sources, sharing private details about living individuals, copying others' work without acknowledging, and stay away from arguments over unproven theories. And I've seen a lot of arguments lately about whether names are changed in Ellis Island, and I can't believe this argument's still going on. But some arguments are not worth doing. So, as I said, think about what you're going to post before. And when you model these habits, you're naturally going to become trusted and a valued voice within that community. And that's what you want. To really put what we've talked about into practice, here's a few simple next steps to get started. Begin by joining 3 to 5 Facebook groups that fit your research goals. I recommend starting with groups for your ancestors' county, surname, or family line that you're researching. And of course, the main Indiana Genealogical Society's page is a great place to connect with others as well. Even though it's not a private group, a group page, it is one of we have a lot of conversations going on in there. But this gives you a balanced mix of local, family specific, and statewide connections. So I want to challenge you to go and look up 3 to 5 groups and think about maybe joining them. Once you've joined them, post a short introduction. Share who you're researching. You don't want to put all the surnames on there, though. Just give a brief, account, because the conversation can always go on more. Put where your ancestors lived, the time period you're focused on, and you can also include specific questions or areas where you'd like to help. Say you live in a specific county or town, you can let people know, hey, if you need any help, let me know. But going on there and introducing yourself is a great way to start getting to know people. And I actually do this at the new year every year. I go through all my Facebook groups and I reintroduce myself, because you don't know who's joined since last time. So make an effort to engage regularly also. Comment on other people's posts, share your discoveries, and offer help when you can. The more you contribute, the more the relationship and trust that you'll build with the community. And I have a rule of thumb to get myself not to just keep scrolling. I make myself, if I scroll past 3 comments, I will make myself comment on the next one. And so that kind of gets you in the habit. And finally, like I said, document every time. Each time you learn something new or make a connection, add it into your research log as well. Some people forget to do this and add in your connection, because it's just like researching and talking to a librarian. And don't rely on your memory. Capture the details right away so that your discoveries stay organized and usable for later. And also, I also like to screenshot a conversation sometimes to save, because if you're trying to go back and look for that message, you might not. And so I'm not even going to tell you how many screenshots I have on my phone, but I tell everyone it's a great way to know like who I was talking to and what the conversation was about. But small, consistent actions like these turn curiosity into progress and help you grow both your research and your genealogy network. Facebook groups are truly a powerful tool for uncovering your Indiana history. Every post, every comment, every connection you make has the potential to reveal a new branch of your family history or shed light on your ancestors' stories that you've never heard before. Remember, genealogy isn't about gathering records. It's about building relationships, sharing discoveries, and keeping the history alive through the community. If you haven't already done so, be sure that you're following Indiana Genealogical Society's Facebook page. There is tons of great conversations going on there. Go through, scroll through the conversations, read the comments. You never know who you're going to connect with. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Okay, is there any questions?
We have quite a few comments happening out here. So I'm going back to the top,
Okay.
to the beginning. Let's see. The first question you asked us, how long have we been researching?
Mhm.
I've been researching since about 03. Barb has been researching for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And then you mentioned like message boards.
Yep. Yep.
I remember forums. I
Oh,
loved
yeah,
forums.
forums. That was the word I was thinking of. I was like, it was
I,
on the tip of my brain.
but same thing as a message board.
Yeah,
But oh my
yeah,
gosh, I love those.
yeah.
And Barb shared she had a group mentor her on getting a headstone for her Civil War veteran great grandfather.
That is
I
great.
mean, that's cool. Let's see. And I accidentally called her Bath. I'm sorry, Barb, when I was typing and uh, um but she also shared that she is in a couple of surname groups and she has connected with members who are in my distant relative DNA matches and they've exchanged old photos and information.
That's fantastic.
So, and then we talked about keywords. So, some of those were surnames, county name, state, the word genealogy. I guess that goes without saying.
Yeah.
So yes, surnames, locations. John has used keywords medical, physicians, 27th Infantry, Davies, as in Davies County, Odon, Elnora. So yeah, like military units.
Yeah, military units are a good one, especially the different,
Mm-hmm.
periods, the different wars.
Yep. Also the B&O Railroad. So, kind of fraternal organizations
Yeah.
or, occupational. Um, and Barb, she also got a lot of help from a group for a War of 1812 ancestor by searching Delmar, capital VA, genealogy history. So, sometimes those keywords,
Yeah.
it's kind of a specific thing, but um, let's see. Oh, so John told us about a collection of Indiana Civil War soldier pictures. And some are before, some are during, and some are after the Civil War. And so I asked John if he had a Facebook group for these, where people
Yeah.
could share Civil War photos.
Yeah.
And he said, no time. And it's like, time commitment, that is a
Yeah, it is a lot. Yeah. Yeah.
to admin a Facebook group. But that would be interesting though.
I think there is I'd have to search it. I think there is an Indiana Civil War group. that
Oh, I'm
does
sure
share
there is. Yeah.
pictures and stuff. Yeah, there's probably a couple.
Let's see. Okay, so Barb had a very good tip. When you post in a Facebook group, remind yourself that the Facebook algorithm may not show your post to all the members, maybe only a fraction. So it may take some time for members to revisit the group and discover your post. And so she goes back often to her group list, like you do, and
Mhm.
revisits those that she no longer gets regularly in her feed. And then she discovers a lot of posts since her last check-in. So it pays to go back and
Well, and the algorithm will pick up too if you've been visiting certain Facebook groups. It'll pick that up, and then you'll all of a sudden start seeing their content again. So, if, like, say, for Indiana Genealogical Society, if you haven't been seeing the post for a while, just go do and interact with one or two things, and then it's going to start coming to your feed again.
awesome. Let's see. And Barb has posted old photos of groups of people, and then other members have recognized a grandparent. That's so
Those are
cool.
always fun.
Let's um I think you were talking about sharing, even when you ask for help,
Mhm.
it's always nice to give back.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite parts of working at the Historical Society is sharing these family history photos and documents and artifacts with people. And they had no idea that they existed. That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah.
And John, this is about the do this and avoid that list. He adheres to all those.
Very good.
Um, let's see here. And yes, excellent guidelines when you're working in a group. And the question you asked about how do we decide what we share with others?
Yep.
Barb responded, she only shares info about deceased ancestors and sticks kind of sticks to info that would not be hurtful to any of the descendants. And private messaging is best for the unflattering family
Yeah.
details.
Yeah. The gossip stuff.
Yes. And Adrienne, she wrote in that her DNA was a hit for a woman living in Georgia. They quickly discovered that they were connected through a great grandfather and a great great grandfather. She chatted that she was flying into Northeast Indiana to see this Peru, Mexico, Denver, and Miami County, Indiana. This lady volunteered that her aunt lived not far in Rockfield, Carroll County. And her aunt was a doll and led the way to where their respective ancestors were buried in the old Oddfellow Cemetery in Rockfield. It was
Wow.
an obscure cemetery at the time, so Adrienne would have never found it without her help. I mean, that's really neat.
That is cool.
Oh, let's see. Barb said this is a great presentation, and thank
Thank
you
you.
for encouraging others to join collaborative groups on Facebook. It's a great alternative to the boards and forums that have mostly been abandoned.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Oh, and John has been researching since 1967.
Oh, wow.
So that goes back a little ways.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, and John said that yes, there is a Civil War Facebook group where they share photos. Um,
They
and
haven't posted my ancestor yet, but just saying.
I know I need to go check to see if I see any of mine are there, but uh, that's what we have.
Okay.
So
That was
thank you,
great.
John Marie,
Yeah, absolutely.
for sharing all this wisdom with us.
Well,
That's
hopefully we'll see
great.
everyone participating more in these groups, and because they are
Mhm.
so valuable. And so, and we have an amazing community on our IGS Facebook page with
Mhm.
just conversations and stuff. So that is, I think we have one of the
Yes,
best communities.
it is pretty great. Time is always an issue.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, that's why
yeah.
I have to go through mine like every time at the new year. Like that's my new year thing. I go through my groups and I'm like, whatever's not active, I just drop those and then I see what ones I have been interacting. And some of them I'm like, oh, I need to start interacting more. So
Well, let's see. Next month, December 2nd, Tuesday, we're going to do another Ask the Hoosier Genealogist. So send your family history mystery questions, queries to publications at Indy, INDY, genes, GENES.org. Um, and if you don't, or just Facebook message us, that
yep,
works
either way.
too.
I would
And we'll
also
try
like to
to. Oh,
oh,
go ahead.
I would also like to encourage everyone. We're in the process of putting together the 2026 Facebook Lives, and we are always looking for topic ideas. So you can either put it in the comments or reach out to us and let us know what topic you'd be interested in learning more about.
Mhm. Yep, just let us know. Um, um, oh, and then the other thing I was thinking of are IGS Writer SIG. That would be the Tuesday,
Yes.
December 9th. So, and if you want the Zoom link to that, just reach out at the same email, publications@indygenes.org, or Facebook message. Trying to think if there's any other ways to reach out to us.
I think social media, email are the best way to get in touch
Yeah.
with us.
Mhm. Yep. Or just check the website. I think there's a contact form, and you can send your message through that, and it will get directed down to me or to someone who can answer your question. So we have December 2nd and December 9th coming up. And John Marie also started a private Facebook group that's under the umbrella of IGS, and it's for the Writer's SIG. So it's private, and it's a group where we can share bits of our writing for feedback.
It's a great way to connect. And I know it's hard writing your ancestors' stories. And so this is a great way to get feedback, like Kay said, and also, get some support along the way.
Mhm. And try to hold ourselves accountable to actually writing.
Yeah. We like to try to give a little homework. So to kind
So
of
yes.
encourage everybody. Yeah.
So yes, I have December 9th on my calendar. I've got to actually, I do have something ready to share. So I'm pretty excited about that.
You're doing better than me. I got to work on that.
So yeah, those are the two items coming up. And maybe before the end of the year, we should have information about the annual conference in 2026 ready to share. So
We can all put that on our calendar.
yep. So keep your eyes and ears open, and we'll share that when we have it already. And this month, I will download our recording and upload it to YouTube. My apologies. It slipped my mind in October. So So we will get that done this month.
Yep.
Actually tonight. So take care of that this evening. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
to
everybody.
everyone watching and the lively discussion. You'll have to go back and look, John Marie, at the comments. And
Yeah, I will have to
and
go look. Yeah, definitely.
so yeah, that was great.
Thank you.
So everyone go out and find a Facebook group or 3 to
Yeah,
to join.
exactly. Yep. Find a couple groups and just introduce yourself. And another clue that I use sometimes is when I'm new to a group and I haven't seen anyone post something like this, I'll actually do like a roll call and I'll ask everybody what the surname that they're researching is.
Mm.
And I mean, it's part of being
Mhm.
selfish because I want to see if I can connect with someone, but it's a way to connect with people and people
Yeah.
will comment. And so it's okay to post those kind of questions in there.
Awesome. That's a lot of great tips and guidelines.
Thank you.
So yes, thanks for hanging out with us tonight.
Thanks,
And
everybody.
I'm gonna go ahead and take us offline. So
All right.
everyone have a good evening, and we'll see you next month.
Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.